Hello and welcome to the August 3rd Flux Community Meeting. If you have any agenda items, please make sure they're on the agenda sheet. We will give it a moment for the first agenda item. If Paulo is ready, we can start talking about the current GA dev focus.
Sure, let's do that. Let me share my screen first. So, yeah, let me. Let's try again. So
While we're waiting on the screen share, if anybody has more agenda items to add, please.
do you mind sharing your screen? Because every time I try to do mine, Zoom is crashing.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. I just shared the link. Yeah. Yeah, that one as well. Brilliant. So if you go to the GA tab, which is the third tab, yeah, and then you just scroll slightly to the right, yeah, since last dev meeting. So for the PRs that are tagged as GA, is the ones that we've done since the last SketchUp, the last dev meeting, are pretty much related to the crash loop issue that we had. To fix that, we had to disable the multi-threading, which is actually a point that I was talking later, but I think I can cover now, so we're kind of done with that. So we've done two things. So the first thing is we disable multi-threading at the libgit level, and in parallel to that, we were having, some issues at CI, in which we decided to remove muscle to kind of bypass, because basically we were having issues downloading the latest muscle during CI. Muscle was implemented about 4 or 5 months ago, just to kind of bypass some of the cross-compilation issues we had. And when I start testing, the removal of muscle together with the threadless kind of just makes sense and make a lot of sense to kind of combine those. So pretty much that's the key things that we've done that are tagged on GA, and we merged that for both source controller and image automation controller. In terms of impact, so far from the tests I've been doing, it doesn't feel like we have any negative impact by doing either. The only thing is that we're mitigating this problem that, we were getting some panics on specific situations on image automation controller. So hopefully that will be now solved. One thing we need to bear in mind is the Git2Go version, the default upstream, does not support libgit2 when multi-threaded is disabled. So the only negative side on this part so far is that we are consuming a Git2Go that is a fork that is currently on my account. And then as soon as we get that merged upstream, we will go upstream, or otherwise we'll just move the fork into Flux Dev. So that's pretty much that. Any questions around this point? Cool. Yeah. Anyone
move some of these things over, or?
Yes, if you could, that would be brilliant. Thank you. Is there any other points anyone wants to make around the path towards GA? Any PRs that potentially we didn't tag, or anything that is worth mentioning? Cool. So we might as well then move to the next topic then.
Okay. So then the next topic is GA focused PRs requiring reviews. Are there any GA PRs that require reviews?
I think it's yours, the Sanskar. Sorry.
Sorry,
The
go
one,
ahead.
yeah, I'll add Sanskar's one there from the. I'll edit that now.
Okay, and we had this discussion about the muscle-free and threadless stuff already. So we're moving right through the agenda items today. Do you have any more questions before we move on? Any more PRs that need a review? Okay. This is a PR that's not in the Flux CD org, but it is certainly for Flux. I want to make a note also that I made a change to the VS Code extension. I wasn't sure what would be okay, but I noticed that when you search for Flux, the things that are at the top of the list all have Flux in the name. And so I realized that if we didn't put Flux in the name, we would never get above the fold of the search, which was kind of annoying. So at least now, if you search for the VS Code extension here, you will find it searching just for Flux. Even if it's towards the bottom of the page, it's not below the fold where things with no Flux in the name. So it's GitOps tools for Flux. I thought that would be kosher, but we can change anything we want. It was very easy and it's completely reversible. So more important probably is the fact that the support is basically landed in the Edge pre-release for the new OCI feature. So I can start using it to prepare for the CNCF webinar that's on August 17th. I should add a note about that also, but it's there's already a note in last week's meeting notes about the VS Code webinar where we'll be demoing OCI support. And if you go to this PR, you'll find links to a bunch of other PRs, including some on pod info, where I've been building out examples of how to use OCI that you can use now before it's landed. So that includes a workflow that builds the latest Flux CLI inline, and it does it in a fairly efficient way so that it will only spend the 3 minutes building if it needs to, if there's a new commit on the OCI branch on Flux CD/Flux2, and then it caches it. You can download it as an artifact there if you need it, but it'll be in whatever architecture your CI is. So that might be different than the OS and architecture of your laptop. So you may still need to, in order to use this feature, you may still need to actually build Flux2 locally, but everything is here. Please check it out. Just click through so we can see, as long as I'm sharing my screen. And this also includes the minimal support needed to make sure that we see all of the new Helm release features related to OCI as well. So Helm repository, rather. That's it from me. And Daniel is next.
Yeah, this is a quick one. So far, we are for the next KubeCon in North America, we're ahead of the curve. The only thing we should probably decide soon is who does the virtual project office hour. So this can be anyone who is, it's virtual, so anyone can do it from home, no problem. I think the last time Paulo did it. Paulo, what was your experience?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed doing it. I got some really good feedback from a guy from VMware, and one of the things I talked on that day. But yeah, it was quite straightforward. It was good to cover like the things that we have done. I think it was prior, like 5 or 6 months prior to that date. We got quite a bit of questions. Kingdom helped me answer most of them, which was really helpful. So thank you, Kingdom, again for that. But yeah, that was really nice. So we're definitely doing that for KubeCon North America then.
Yeah, I think so. So what was the, was it an hour-long session?
I think it was about an hour long, and it was maybe 30, 40 minutes talk and then questions, and we finished slightly earlier than we.
Okay, so it was mostly like a status update, like what happened since last KubeCon, and here are the big things to look forward to, that kind of thing.
As I recall, the end was a workshop that focused on how do you debug source controller interactively. That was really interesting.
Oh, wow, okay,
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was a combination. Was that initially was just like a catch up, like what happened in the last while, then the workshop that Kingdom mentioned, and then last just a few questions.
Sweet.
What would be the time zone for the Q&A?
They haven't announced the schedule slots just yet, but I guess we can ask and make sure that it's an earlier time of the US day. I can I'll send them an email to figure this out.
Yeah, and it would be good to know as well what dates that will be in. But yeah, I'll definitely be keen to help on that front again.
Super, and maybe we can also collaborate. I think if two people sit together and type up some notes about what's new, it should happen much quicker if it's one person who tries to remember everything. Okay, yeah, I'll note you down then as one person who's interested, and I'll try to figure out the dates and times. Thank you.
Awesome. So that brings us to the end of our agenda today. Does anyone want to talk about anything that is not on the agenda? Going once? Going twice? Okay, then I guess we can end the meeting early today.
Excellent.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
See you guys later. Cheers.